Wake up. Wake up. That's right. It's 2026. Get up already.
Oh, it's great to have you. Thanks so much for coming on by today. Good morning, indeed. And yes, wake up, indeed. Larry, there's a lot of times where we bill a game as the biggest of the regular season. And look, there's been a lot of times we've been right about that. But there is no bigger game of the regular season than the one that could keep you home for the entire postseason, Super Bowl included, since it just happens to be at Levi Stadium. So this is a huge one. Special uniforms will be broken out. And it is going to be an absolute monster of a football game. Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here. Hit like and subscribe. Thank you for being with us as we start another year together here on YouTube, Larry. It's a real pleasure. Happy New Year to you, your entire family, everybody out there. Nothing but good tidings, right? Nothing but good tidings so far. From a football standpoint, 2026 isn't going so bad. Ha, 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 ha. It's the most dominant win over Alabama they've taken this century. Oh, my God. That was incredible. What a Rose Bowl for the Hoosiers. And in case you wanted to know, yes, flights have been booked to Atlanta. I'm going to the Peach Bowl.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to the Peach Bowl? Your wife's cool with that, huh?
My wife is cool. My wife already looked at flights by the time I was coming home drunk last night. She knew. Wow. She knew. She looked for flights for me. She knew. So I really need the 49ers to win the Seahawks game because I need next weekend off, if you know what I mean. So I need the Seahawks to lose in this game so I don't have to worry about a wake up or a live stream or anything while I'm in Atlanta. That would be really nice. There's my Christmas present, San Francisco 49ers. Get yourself the bye week, which, Larry, all seriousness, if you asked me, what is the most important thing for the 49ers going forward? It's rest and it's health. They've got a lot of it going into this game. And I hope no one gets hurt in this game. It seems like somebody always comes up gimpy in every single game they play. I don't know if they can do this with the week off, but I really don't think they could do this without the week off. So this is so important. This is more than just home field. This is more than just avoid getting on an airplane. This is more than away team crowd noise or anything like that. I think this is just a huge game for Kyle Shanahan. And if they win it, this division title, Larry, am I over my skis here? This division title would be more impressive than I think the conference championships he's won.
Well, and we'll see. We'll see what we get Saturday night. There'll be no Charles Cross, the starting tackle for left tackle for the Seahawks is out with the hamstring. He's been out the past two games. His backup is a pretty good player too, Josh Jones. But Jones has got an ankle and knee injury. He's hurt as well. He didn't practice on Tuesday. And there's a chance that the Niners, even though they don't have much of a pass rush, will be going up against a guy by the name of Amari Kite, who's an undrafted rookie third-string left tackle. So that could be advantage 49ers. If you look at the numbers as far as how the Seahawks have defended the tight end this year, they've really struggled with the tight end. They have not done a good job as far as defending the tight end. Maybe that's an advantage as well. Excuse me. But yeah, our friend Akash, Anna Varanthan, said Seattle's defense is probably the best in the NFL. They have one weakness. Excuse me. Gosh.
Larry Krueger has one weakness this morning, sneezing.
Unbelievable. I've had unbelievable nasal congestion the last month. I got rid of it for the holidays, and it kind of came back in the last day. But anyway, I'm feeling okay. But anyway, they're 18th in DVOA defending tight ends this season. They give up the 5th most yards to tight ends this season of all the teams in the league. And Kittle's expecting to play. Tonjes is playing well. Expect the 49ers and Purdy to utilize the tight end like they did in that first matchup.
That's how they won that first matchup.
Well, the first matchup was on TV last night. I did watch it because I was like, yeah, what the hell? Why not? I could dial this up if I wanted to on the NFL Plus at any time, but it's on TV, so let's watch it. So I watched it. It was a Niners 17-13 win over the Seahawks. And the Seahawks looked really, really good in that game, Damon. I mean, the 49ers did have 24 first downs to 14 for Seattle because Seattle was really bad on third downs in that game. They were 3 of 10, where the Niners were 50%, 7 of 14. And the Niners defense at that point was way better and it held Seattle at 230 total yards. But the Niners didn't run it well, and the Niners were heavily penalized, 9 penalties for the 49ers. The turnovers were even, but the 49ers did one thing really, really well in that game, and that was dominate the time of possession. And I would see if I could do that again. I mean, Niners held the ball, Damon, for 38 minutes compared to 22. I don't know that they have an answer for Jackson Smith and the Jigba. So, playing complimentary ball and possessing the heck out of it, and Purdy to Kittle on third down repeatedly and stay on the field, I think is probably the same game plan. If the Niners can just be even on the turnover margin like they were in that first game, and don't have an abundance of penalties. Actually, they did in that first game. I think they're going to be able to have some success. Now, this is a really good defense. There's no question about it. And they're really good on all 3 levels. But,
well, here, wait, before you get too deep, let me just ask you how you're going about defending Jackson Smith and Jigba, because I know that Diamador Lenore was requesting, the one-man dance party. He wants to follow him all over the field. And it seems like Robert Saleh basically has already shut that down, saying this is just not how we play football.
Well, yeah, I mean, he explained it in detail the other day. It's easy to be like, yeah, just have Demo follow him around, but it's not about what that's going to look like. And then still, it probably would be advantage JSN, to be honest. But it's not even what that's going to look like. It's that the Niners, it's harder to do when you play zone,
right,
than when you play man. If you play man, everybody just plays their man, right? But when you play zone, and now you're asking guys to, what happens if JSN lines up in the slot, and now you have Demo following him in the slot, and now you're asking Upton Stout to play outside. He hasn't played outside all year, so you might be solving one problem, but you may be creating 3 others. So he said, "Hey, look, it's in our bag of tricks. It's one of the options we have," but he kind of made it seem like, you know what? This is more of a nuclear option. Like, if we're just getting absolutely roasted and toasted and we have no solution, we could go to this, but we're not going to this first. And it really didn't sound like they're going to it second or third either.
It seems like that just 7-yard out route is there for Njigba all season long against anybody that he plays, not just the Niners in week 1, but if you've watched Seattle, this guy, he's been as close to unstoppable as wide receivers are really allowed to get, not just in the modern era, of any era. I mean, I'll tell you, I looked at some of the numbers here, Larry. First of all, the most impressive thing about this guy is he's played in every game so far this year. He has not missed a game. He's already set every wide receiver catch and yardage record ever by a Seattle Seahawk. He's got 113 catches, 1,709 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns. He's averaging 15.1 yards per catch. He's having a monster season. And before any 49er fan starts turning their nose up at any of those numbers, because, well, we've seen Jerry Rice, we've seen Terrell Owens. Okay, the season that JSN has had before this final game is even played would already be second all-time 49ers receptions behind Jerry Rice. He's 9 short. If he catches 9 balls, he will have caught as many balls as Jerry Rice did in any year he ever played for the 49ers. He would be second all-time behind Rice's single-season reception yards record. This guy is just, he should get MVP consideration. I think Sam Darnold is pretty good. I think Sam Darnold deserves quite a bit of respect. Teams don't go 13 or win 13 of 15 games. And that's what the Seahawks have won, 13 of 15 games since losing to the 49ers in week 1. And you don't do that with bad quarterback play. But we do know that Sam Darnold has a chance, or a tendency, I should say, to play big games poorly. And I think that's just one of the things the 49ers need. First quarterback to make his second mistake in this game, I think will be on the losing side. I think one mistake is survivable by either of these quarterbacks. The second mistake, the second turnover, the second interception, that probably is going to be recorded by the losing team in this game. And the 49ers might have to just steal a possession. We haven't really seen a fake on special teams all year long. You know, Boyer's got one up his sleeve. I think we might see it this week. I really do.
Well, you do have what you have this week is you have the better defense going against the better quarterback, and you have the lesser defense going against the lesser quarterback. And it's hard to really say how it's all going to shake out. Seattle's defense is top 10 in the NFL in sacks with 44. They're eighth overall. They are fifth.
They're fifth in terms of team total sacks. They've got 44. There's a few teams that, you know, we got 46, they got 46. But if you're just looking at most teams, fifth most sacks in teams total, team total with 44. Fifth best defense in the NFL in terms of yardage. Third best defense
they're
in the
second.
NFL.
They're second in the NFL. They're second in yards offensively. They're second in yards defensively. They're number two. They're number two in total defense. They're number two in total offense. But I mean, the point is just that their defense is ranking top 5 in pressure percentage, and yet you got the Niner defense that ranks last in sacks and last in pressure rate. They only have a 25% pressure rate. They only have 18 sacks. I mean, the Seahawks have 44 sacks. So, I mean, which quarterback is going to be under more duress? It's probably going to be Purdy. That makes sense. Now, the question is, what does he do in those situations? You know, Brock Purdy has turned it over at a very high clip. But when he doesn't turn it over, and the way he's playing right now, you know, the Niners are playing incredibly well under Purdy. The Niners are 7-1 outright when Purdy starts this year. 6-2 against the number, 7-1 outright. So I mean, he's done nothing but play great ball, except for the Jacksonville game and the Carolina game, which he got away with the 3 picks.
Look,
outside of those two
Seattle's
games,
fifth right here. Fifth. Houston, Cleveland. Denver, Chargers.
They just put out we're going to sit here argue about stupid stuff.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying.
They put out didn't you get the statistical packet that they sent out to everybody? This is the profile of the Seahawks, and it shows them. Here we go. Here it is. This is the statistical profile that the Niners put out of the Niners and the Seahawks. I will share the screen. You can see it for yourself. Here it is. Points per game, second. Total defense, second. Or points allowed, second.
Points allowed. Yeah, that's not total defense. Fifth in total defense, second in points allowed.
Sixth actually in total defense, but they're second in points allowed. Points is what we're talking. Everybody looks at points. Robert Saleh the other day was like, we don't look at yards anymore. Nobody looks at yards. Yards is just like, you know what, bend but don't break. Points is the ultimate. They're second in points. They're second in points scored and second in points allowed. They're
really good.
One of the best.
There's no reason for us to argue about anything. They're very, very good defensively. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I just think that Brock Purdy and Shanahan and the weirdness of a division opponent, that's what's on the 49ers side in this game, I think, more than anything else. There's just when two teams that are this familiar with each other, weird things happen. Like I said, it's the second turnover. It's the second mistake that I'm worried about in this game. Each team's going to make a mistake. Each team's going to get a mistake forced, I think, from both offenses. So it's the second mistake that I think loses this game. I'm most worried about DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams.
Yeah, I would say I'm more worried about, and there's a very good chance Trent Williams is not going to play, but I'm more worried about the 49ers' inability to cover. Because even in this last game where we watched the 49ers play well, right? And it's like, oh, look at the Niners. They played well in this game. But they just could not stop Colston Loveland at all. And they really couldn't hang down the field. None of their guys can play coverage. I mean, that's the biggest concern I have, is that their linebackers just can't stand up coverage wise. I'd love it if they could, but they just can't. Tatum Bethune had 11 tackles. He struggles in coverage. Winters early in the year had some good numbers against covered in pass coverage. Those numbers have gone down the drain. Gifford can't cover. He's been exposed a few times. And who else is left? I mean, they really struggle to, to have their linebackers in coverage. They miss Fred Warner in the worst way. So I don't, we'll see. AJ Barner's got 6 touchdowns, and he's been really, really good for Seattle, both as a run blocker and in the red zone as a receiver. Can the Niners defend him? Can they stop JSN? That's why I think you got to play complimentary ball. You just got to. The Niners are not as good. I mean, it's like if your team is as good, then you can play everybody straight up. But if your team's not as good, you're going to have to play complimentary ball, or you're going to have to take some chances. And we've seen that in this bowl season with the lesser teams taking chances. But they're going to have to. They couldn't cover Luther Burden last week. They threw him 9 balls. He caught 8 for 138. They couldn't cover Colston Loveland. He almost had 100 yards receiving. So somehow, Sam Darnold, they're going to have to somehow either simulate some pressure on Sam Darnold, or make him feel like he sees something he doesn't see, or take some chances and rotate into a different look post-snap than what you're showing pre-snap and try to fool them. The one good news on Sam Darnold is if you look in recent games, he in his last whatever number of games, he's got 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So he is turning it over right now. And the people that I talked to in Seattle this week all were very concerned about his ability to take care of the football. So I don't know how the Niners are going to make him turn it over, though, because they don't put any pressure on the quarterback, and he might just be able to sit back there and carve them up like a Thanksgiving turkey. But they're going to have to try to make him feel like either they're going to have to bat down some passes, get their hands up. The one good thing about Seattle is they are going to JSN. I mean, Cooper Kupp is a distant second as far as their receiving totals are concerned, and everybody else after that is way, way down the list. It's the JSN show. He's got 113 receptions. Barner is second with 50, and Kupp is third with 45. So they're going to JSN. And they did get Rashid Shaheed, so that gives them one more weapon. But really, it's not, like the Niners have JJ, they've got Bourne, they've got Pearsall, they've got a number of different wide receivers. And if you took one away, it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world. If the Niners can somehow stand between JSN and Darnold and make him go somewhere else,
well, yeah,
Niners are probably going to win.
This is the Bill Belichick make the opponent play left-handed. This is what you're looking for. And by the way, if that were easy to do, a lot of football teams would have done it this year. No one's been able to take this guy out of a game all year long.
Well, no, Minnesota did. If you look at his, I asked this question of a couple of people earlier this week. I said, was there anybody that did a good job against him? November 30th, they played the Vikings. The Vikings held him to 2 catches for 23 yards. That was the only game that anybody really kind of slowed him down. And AJ Barner had, and Cooper Kupp led the way in that game, but their leading receiver in that game had 35 yards. That was a game, though, that Minnesota started Max Brosmer, and he threw 4 interceptions.
Maybe,
and there was no real reason to do anything in that game because they dominated.
Maybe, since the Vikings have quite a bit of institutional knowledge on Sam Darnold, that gave him a little bit of an advantage. Maybe the 49ers can take, advantage of that too. But look, Darnold is a good quarterback, but you said he has been turnover prone lately. As you're looking for weak spots in that defense, not a lot to see. You did bring up the fact, though, right in the beginning of this show, DVOA in terms of defending the tight end is their weak point. Do we see a 2 tight end set? Do we see Kittle and Tongas together out on the field? We haven't. I mean, Shanahan has not run 12 personnel, how at much, if at all, this year, right?
Well, I don't have the percentages. It's not a high percentage. And if they do, it's when they do go 2 tight ends, I would venture to say that they've hardly ever put Kittle and Tongas. When they do go 2 tight ends, it's been Tongas and Farrell together, or it's been Kittle and Farrell together, and it's much more of a run look than any kind of a pass look. I'd love to see the 2 tight ends, kind of the way the Rams utilize them, where they put them on the field and then they throw them passes, because you got 2 really good receiving tight ends. Take advantage of Tongas. Tongas is, he beat them in that first game, and a lot of people thought, I was lucky. And now I think coming into this game, I think people realize it was far from lucky. He's just a really good receiver.
I mean, put him in the freaking slot. Get your best hand at the football. Mix it up. Exactly. Look,
there'll be no Trent Williams, so you don't want to, that's the other thing. Does Austin Pleasance continue to look great? Because Austin Pleasance to me, there's 2 surprises with the It's how Brock Purdy has played coming out of this bye week. Like, if you said, what did you expect to see? What didn't you expect to see? Well, there's people that feel like if you ever say you're surprised, you're like some boob who doesn't know. So there's people that are afraid to say, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not. I will tell you freely when I'm surprised and when I had it pegged. And I am totally borderline shocked at how well Brock Purdy has played in this stretch post turf toe. Was not expecting this. Didn't expect it. Damon, he's not playing good. He's not playing great. He's playing as well as any quarterback. So that right there is huge surprise to me for sure. But the second surprise has got to be the way that Austin Pleasance stood up last week, in that Bears game, and maybe the Bears, just because they didn't know Pleasance was going to be in there, maybe they didn't have a game plan to take advantage. Maybe Seattle will. McDonald's kind of a master. But, I mean, this guy looked amazing in the OTAs and then looked horrible in training camp and hasn't played in 4 months. Stepped out there against the Bears and really looked good.
Hey, I'll take it even a step further. He hasn't played in 4 years. That's the first real meaningful football he's played in his NFL career in that Bears game. So
but he hadn't played in live action.
Yeah.
He hadn't played in live action since August.
Yeah. You and I did we're very excited about him show. Then we did the full apologies. They put the pads on, and this can't, it ain't going to be Austin Pleasance. We both retracted our excitement and enthusiasm over the guy. Can he do it again? Can he do it again? Does the tape that the Seahawks now have of him playing 4 quarters of football change the equation that much? It's going to be fascinating, man. What an end to just an incredible year of football that it's been for the 49ers.
Well, they got some good news today, too, by the way. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this today? They got some really good news today.
Well, I know that this is the healthiest they've been all year. Like, it's beyond Trent Williams. It seems like full go all the way around. Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, well, the one that was I guess we'll stop sharing that. But the one that was really like, whoa, because there were people that were saying, hey, the concussion protocol, if you're in there, you got to be in there for X amount of time. Well, according to RSF 49ers, Keon White was back at practice yesterday with the groin. Upton Stout, that's the key one right there.
Huge.
He was back with from the concussion. And Ricky Pearsall. So they're all questionable for Saturday night. Nobody's been ruled out. To me, you got to have all 3 of these guys, but especially Stout, because you just don't have – that's maybe the toughest position on the defense. You have Chase Lucas. He's good. He's a good player, but, I mean, it's a challenge for him to play that slot all day. Stout's been so damn good. I know the numbers say that he's been picked on a little bit, but he's really solid player against the run, against the pass. He's violent. He's smart. So there was a lot of talk, coming out of the game that because it was the short week and he's in the concussion protocol, that there'd be no way for him to escape the protocol and get out and play. But he didn't even have the blue jersey on at the last practice, and it looks like he's trending towards playing. So that is good news. They need Keon White with the groin. They need Upton Stout with the concussion. Heck, they need Ricky Pearsall. They need all three of those guys to play and play well to have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers offense is going to be up against one of their biggest challenges and a familiar challenge. And again, division games, man. Weird shit happens in division games all the time. And, I'm not going to say this is a short rest because it was a while that's, Seattle's they came back from the East Coast, had to turn it around. It's been a really weird week. I mean, you and I, before we even went live, you were telling me what a weird week of practice it was for the 49ers, just in terms of schedules. And, these guys are slaves to routine. So to just have a practice 3 hours later in a day than it normally is just a change of things. And I know that they did that this week, I should say. So, a million moving parts. Every single one of these guys is human. Every single one of these guys had to lean over and, kiss their wives at midnight on New Year's Eve and, tucking kids into bed. And it's been the holidays. So it's just a lot of moving parts going into this game. It's a good thing Kyle Shanahan's the head coach because he has done an incredible job handling every single ounce of adversity that has been thrown at this team. But there's a little more adversity that the football universe is throwing at this team. And we'll get to it in just a second here. But really quick, Larry, let's welcome everyone again to Wake Up. Thank you for being here on this Friday morning, January 2nd. We're off and running here in 2026. We want to thank our sponsors, as always, Ike of Ike Sandwiches. If you hadn't had a sandwich from Ike's in 2025, make that a New Year's resolution in 2026. I know a lot of resolutions are I'm going to get in shape. Not mine. Put more mozzarella sticks on your sandwiches at Ike's. That should be your New Year's resolution. Head to the Dubliner West portal as well. And again, what about some barbecue dreams, Larry, for New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Look for their brand new location in 2026, opening in Petaluma. Thanks to them, they're open right now in Corte Madera. They're open right now in Emeryville 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Go check them out. You'll love it. You'll be a fan for life. And then also thanks to Sleeper. And, I was just going to say, Sleeper has been a proud sponsor of the Krug Show, and sign up on Sleeper and they'll give you a match up to $100. I don't have the read right in front of me right now, but I do want to mention that I do think that if you're going to do the Sleeper, breakdown and try to go with the, the fantasy and the competitive individual fantasy, Christian McCaffrey, again, as far as receptions, I think there's a couple that I would go with in this game. One is the Brock Purdy run yards, because Brock Purdy doesn't run often, but he runs when the money's on the table. It's now January. The money is officially on the table. So he's going to run. He's going to run if he needs to run, especially in the second half. And that prop is usually low. It's usually like 9, 12, 15 yards. And he's going to beat that every time. So I would say Brock Purdy over the rushing yards for sure. And then Christian McCaffrey over the receptions. Running backs get 22% of the targets against Seattle's defense, the highest rate in the NFL. And they have such a good run defense that play that Shanahan has utilized so much, Damon, in the second half of the year, where he has CMC look like he's going to block, then come through the line of scrimmage. And then he basically just has a choice route against the linebacker, and he can go to the right or left. And it's just a little choice route, stop route right there in front of the quarterback's face. I expect the Niners to utilize that probably 4 or 5 times. So the McCaffrey receptions. The other thing is McCaffrey is like whatever he is, like 80 or 90 or 100 yards away from 1,000. So they're going to give him a chance at that, I think. And it'll be in the structure of the game. I don't think it will be like, oh my God, let's, focus on some individual stats.
Last thing they need to do is overfeed Christian McCaffrey in any particular category. The guy's, remember, his next touch is his 400th touch. of the
I
year.
don't know that you can overfeed him at this point. I mean, it's like you need him. These are big. These are big games. To me, you saved him up to hopefully to this point to use him any way you need to use him to win these games going forward.
He
But
had the
I would
little
say they're
black.
going to throw him the ball a lot.
He had
Look for him to get the receptions.
the oblique, the back strain, which apparently, he says is all good, all over. No problems, no ill effect going forward. I hope he's right about that. It is amazing. This guy he's gotten better as the year has gone along. And instead of the tread wearing off of his tires, it's like he's added tread to his tires as the year has gone along here. He just came off his best rushing performance of the season against Chicago. So keep it up, Christian. Keep it up, Christian. Again, you're talking about sleeper props. You can use promo code Damon too, by the way, over on Sleeper. I think you got to look Kittle. I think you got to look Kittle, maybe not a yardage total, but a reception total on Kittle, a tight end touchdown for Kittle. This could be an anytime touchdown game for Kittle and McCaffrey, I would think, in this game. You always got to hit that anytime touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. That's like free money out there.
Or Juwan Jennings. I mean, Juwan Jennings on the anytime touchdown has been just absolutely money this year. I think he scored. Jennings has a chance to be the first receiver since Jerry Rice to wind up with double-digit touchdowns. By the way, here is the stat of stats on JSN. According to NFL Researcher, most downfield receiving yards, 10-plus air yards this season, according to Next Gen Stats. JSN, 1,196. Second place is Puka Nacua with over 1,000 less yards. Or no, almost, yeah. No, not 1,000 less yards. Only 200 less yards. 920 yards for Puka. 825 for Nico. 1196 for JSN. JSN is just, he is, so many of those years when the Niners were great, they had Jerry Rice and nobody else did. Well, the Seahawks have the equivalent of Jerry Rice now. And, you're going to have to somehow slow him down. And it was very hard to slow Jerry down, and it's going to be very hard to slow JSN down. Maybe impossible.
So I told you there was one other thing that is a concern. And you control what you can control, but games do greatly turn on the officiating quality or lack thereof. I mean, you wouldn't argue with that, right? I mean, the officials that you get in the game and how they call a game go a big way into deciding a game. If every play is, a possibility to be taken away because of just a bad officiating decision, it's something you got to worry about. This game will be officiated by Bill Vinovich's crew. This is a crew that's not been very good to the 49ers historically. San Francisco is 4-6 straight up with Vinovich's crew out there.
That includes 4-6.
That includes both Super Bowl losses, both of Shanahan's Super Bowl losses. The Seahawks are a perfect 3-0 straight up this year when Mike McDonald has Vinovich's crew out there. So the Seahawks have yet to lose with him officiating a game. The Niners lost both their Super Bowls where, you talked about deciding that game or not getting holding called on Bosa, deciding so many of those games. Vinovich's crew also has the third most penalties called so far this year. When the Niners are at their best, they are playing clean, penalty-free football, basically. So, again, you can control what you can control. You can't control which crew gets assigned to your game. But this is as bad a crew that the Niners could have drawn randomly in terms of how do you walk off the field a winner against them more often than not? The answer is no, not against this crew and not in big games. So
I hear you, but I mean 4-6. I mean, it's not like they're 2-10. And right. Also, you know what? I actually think that the crew that calls a tighter game in a game against Seattle is probably advantage Niners. Why? Because McDonald believes strongly in that, super physical, let's try to manhandle everybody. Let's have a penalty on every play and see if they call it, kind of a thing. I don't mind a game that's called a little tighter against them because I think they've got the over aggressive DBs. You know, the Julian Loves, the Nick Eman Warries. They've got the guys who are you know are a little bit more aggressive. So we'll see. I mean, it's you never know. You never know how these games are going to go and where the call's going to come. But I'll say this. I mean, I think the NFL has done a good job this year. I haven't seen too many games where I finished the game and thought, man, the officials were heavy-handed. If anything, I've seen, games where I felt like they let it
How do you
go.
not call that? How do you not call that at the end of a game?
Well, even last night in the college game, I mean, in the Georgia Ole Miss game, Georgia had a terrible face mask against Ole Miss that went uncalled. Now, Ole Miss ultimately won the game, so it didn't really matter. But I mean, if they had lost the game, it was a blatant face mask against Georgia that went uncalled in a crucial part of the second half. So, it's the officials. I just hope for some kind of a little bit of consistency and more of a let them play kind of mindset. But you know what? The Niners could be super physical with JSN. If you look at Clint Kubiak has been the big difference this year, right? They brought in Kubiak last year. They passed it tons. They barely ever ran. They had no real running game. They had no real offensive balance. This year, they bring in Clint Kubiak. They own the fourth highest graded offense in the NFL. They had the PFF's top rushing grade. They had the second highest receiving grade. They're averaging 29 points a game, second most in the league. And JSN has just been amazing. I mean, this guy is just absolutely dominated. I mean, he's got 16 catches for 614 yards on deep targets after last year having 8 catches for 217 on deep targets in 2024. So they're not just going to JSN, they're going to JSN down the field. And can the Niner DBs hold up? I mean, we know there's not going to be enough pressure on Darnold. So then it's just a matter of how well can the Niners hold up against JSN. It's a big, major factor in this game.
My internet's getting roasted in the chat right now. I'm a little fuzzy today. Sorry about that. I guess I should have restarted the router before the damn show started. But I appreciate the good-natured ribbing. What I don't, this is Matthew saying, why do these guys keep overthinking and overanalyzing the game between the 49ers and the Sea Chickens before it has begun? Because the game hasn't been played yet, and this is a preview of what might happen. This is literally the time to do. Do you understand what it is we're doing here, sir? Thank you for watching. It's great to have you here. This is a show that talks about what might happen and takes a critical little, tweezer and looks for the details. That's what this is. Thank you for watching. We do appreciate it.
What would you rather us do? Are we looking ahead to the draft? Are we looking back at the Bears game? I mean,
do you want to talk about the Rose Bowl? I'd love to talk about the Rose Bowl, but I don't think that's what people are here for today.
Tyler Mahle to the Giants. Should we go heavy on Tyler Mahle to the Giants?
So anyways, that's what it is we're doing here. So thank you for watching. Sorry that you're confused as to what it is you're actually watching. Now, because the bandwidth is not great, Larry, I do have 2 kids tethered to iPads upstairs while Jillian is out today. And my mom, God bless her, 79 years old, she's running around upstairs too, trying to keep it all relaxed. So I don't have much time for this show today. Should we hop into some supers right now? I mean, we have reached, I'll agree with this. There's not a lot left to say. There's only one thing left to do. Beat Seattle. That's it. There really is. The time for talk is over. If they don't win this game, I never want to see these black uniforms ever again. Can we agree on that?
Do you like the way they look? Because some people love them. I personally, I'll say this. They look better to me now than when I first saw them. But I kind of wanted the all black instead of the gold face mask. But whatever.
Here's the thing.
It just seems kind of weird that they're wearing them in this massive gotta have it game. But whatever.
So to me, you don't mess with perfection. And so I did not grow up a 49er fan. I didn't. But when I grew up, I'm one of the single biggest uniform snobs you will ever meet in your life. And I thought that the 49ers have uniforms that are somewhere in between majestic and glorious. I think the 49ers have one of the greatest color combinations and uniforms. That red home fucking Niners uniform is just perfect. I would never take it off. I would never wear anything but that, especially for a big home game. And you know what I would also do if I were the 49ers, just to let everyone know this is for real? I would paint the goddamn end zones red tomorrow. Do it now. Don't even wait for the postseason. Do it now. Show up. Don't come out with black end zones. Red end zones. That's what I want to see.
All right. I mean, I'll say this: the people love the saloon font, and the last time the Niners went with the black jerseys, the numbers were really hard to read. This time they should be pretty easy to read. The players seem like they like them. Hey, let's. What is Seattle wearing a different uni, or are they just wearing their regular uni?
All I know is that I saw Seattle play a game just a couple weeks ago where they came out with the old Seahawks uniforms. How are those not their full-time permanent uniforms? Good. Those are really awesome unis.
I know.
Look, nostalgia is a very powerful drug, and it runs.
I mean, I like the old school unis. I mean, I do. I like the old school unis. I wouldn't mind going back to the old school unis,
Before we get into supers, Larry, did you see this? Somebody brought this up because it's been going around on 49ers Twitter and the internet. There's just some guy who's, in his 20s and is trying to do a video that says Jerry Rice could not play today. He was not as fast. His 40 time would disqualify him from being a competitive football player. Like, Jesus, dude. Why don't you just tell everyone you don't know jack shit without actually saying, I don't know.
Jerry went at him. He's really bad. That's really bad.
No, Jerry should just rise above that. He's got enough people out there to defend him. But yeah, let me just tell you one thing right now. Jerry Rice would dominate the NFL that we haven't even seen yet. Jerry Rice would dominate the NFL 30 years from now, much less now. He dominated 30 years ago. I mean, there's no amount of football game that doesn't get harder to play if you're defending Jerry Rice in it. Period. I mean, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Couple thoughts before we hit the supers. One, the one reason I feel the Niners are going to win this game, and I'm pretty confident, is I believe in Brock Purdy in this moment a lot more than I believe in Sam Darnold in this moment. Purdy is 6-1 career against Seattle. So that counts, the January 2023 playoff win. So last year's 20-17 loss, when the Niners were just totally gassed, is the only time the Niners have lost to Seattle with Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy, since he's returned, Damon, Brock Purdy has been the best quarterback in the league. Sam Darnold has been 23rd in the league under quarterback efficiency. Quarterback efficiency, you've got Brock Purdy, far to the right and to the top of the QB efficiency chart, and you got Sam Darnold way to the other side. So I like Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's going to be the difference in this game. The other question is, how concerned are you that there's a lot of wind and rain in the forecast, and this could be a windy, rainy Saturday night slugfest between two teams. We know Purdy's struggled at times in the rain. How do you feel about that one?
That, to me, that is why I'm talking about the second mistake. I think conditions are going to be optimal for each team to turn the ball over once. The second turnover, I think, is the backbreaker in this game. And Brock in the rain is a lot worse than Brock not in the rain. There's not a huge sample size of him playing in the rain, but it isn't good. You'd be lying if you tried to pretend it was. Let's see. Seattle, it's a city known for rain. I'm guessing they practice more often in drizzly and wet conditions than the Niners get to. That's the one thing that I'm worried about Vinovic's crew. I'm worried about DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams, and I'm a little bit worried about the weather. I think, how about this? Outside of some sleeper props, I wouldn't touch this game in terms of betting on it. I could see Seattle winning this game. Absolutely. I can see Seattle winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's fair. I mean, it's a big game between two Titans. There's a great article on the SF Standard by Kawakami and Lombardi breaking it down. And Kawakami had they each went with one key stat to track.
Okay.
And I thought Kawakami picked a good one. Negative quarterback plays. Okay. Why? Because this is where Brock Purdy has been really good this year. He has 9 interceptions and he's lost 1 fumble. But he's avoided sacks, Damon. He's only been sacked 8 times in 8 games, despite the fact people don't think his line is all that good. Darnold, by comparison, has 20 giveaways this year in 16 games, 14 interceptions. He's lost 6 fumbles. He's also fumbled 4 other times and has been sacked 25 times. So I'm going to say right there, I think that's the factor. I think Brock Purdy is going to outplay Sam Darnold. I think he's going to have fewer negative plays in a negative play conditions kind of a night. And I think that's going to be the difference in the game.
When in doubt, throw that ball away. Live to fight another down, for sure.
Let's hit. Well, we should tell everybody, hit like and subscribe to both channels. Hit like and subscribe. We appreciate all of you guys being here. If you hit like, more people find us in the algorithm. If you hit subscribe, anytime we go live, you don't have to miss a minute of
Larry,
the action.
I'm 66 subs away from 50,000.
Get Damon to 50,000 before the end of the day. Thanks to Habas Law, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. If you want to win, call these guys. I mean, it's really as simple as that. They're great PI attorneys. They're rooted right here in the Bay Area. Habas Law, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Phenomenal. Omar Tariq and the Habas Law team are fantastic people, great lawyers. And if you want to win, call them. They beat insurance companies the way the Niners and the Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals. All right, let's hit the supers here because we do have 20 of them, and we'll roll through them here. Fuji Simeon, if IU wins it all, do they make a movie about this?
If Indiana wins it all, they'll be the first team in the history of college football to go 16-0 on their way to a national championship. Indiana just gave Alabama a loss that they have not had this century. Alabama has only lost by 35 or more 3 times since 1958.
Yeah, that was something yesterday. And when Signetti was asked about it, he kind of got indignant in the post game. He's like, oh, this is cool. They were saying, oh, this is quite a story. He's like, why? Because we're Indiana? He was like, he kind of got pissed off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing is, I love that. I love the tone that he sets, that we're no longer going to be, ducking under the, this isn't supposed to happen to us umbrella. I think that's what you do when you change a culture. And I don't think we have a single greater example of culture change in the history of sports than what Signetti has done in 2 years in Bloomington. He has lost 2 games since becoming Indiana's head coach. The 2 losses were against the 2 teams that were in last year's national championship game. Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for more. They ran
for 200 and they outrushed Alabama 215-23.
They destroyed the Alabama Crimson Tide on the line of scrimmage. That game didn't get loose and funny because what pick 6 or what, crazy special teams, what big mistake. No, Alabama didn't make mistakes. They couldn't move the ball.
Oh, by the end, I felt like I was watching Roberto Duran, the no mas. I mean, they wanted no more.
Yeah.
They wanted no more. They
couldn't stop it. Alabama quit on that game. They quit.
They absolutely
quit on the Rose Bowl, on the grandest stage college football has to offer.
They knocked out Ty Simpson. I mean, they did an incredible job. They stuffed the run. They ran the ball. I mean, this is Nobody's beaten Indiana this year. It doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like it. The
There's no
Shrek.
reason. How about this? There's no reason to not believe at this point, right?
I mean, I've been betting them pretty consistently for like the last month and a half. The Shrek says, let's get Jen Payer, wide receiver, Kittle and Tonjes, 2 tight ends set, and CMC in the backfield. What do you think?
Jennings, Pearsall,
Jennings, Pearsall at
Kittle,
wide receiver.
Tongas, 2 tight ends, CMC backfield. Yeah. I mean, loaded. I mean, play hard, man. Just can you win on the line
off the field? I mean, Shanahan is going to be tested here. McDonald's a really good defensive coordinator. I asked Shanahan about McDonald's defense, and he's like, "Hey, look, they're really sound." He's like, but it's his timing with his blitzes that's really good, and he's very creative with how he brings it. He also said that they sit in that 2 shell, which makes it hard to get, big gash plays against them, and it's difficult to run it on them. So, I mean, this is a really, really good defense. The Niners, it's not going to be the Niners putting up 40. I think the Niners are going to be, I would say 28 would be the top you'll see in this game, and it might be a lot less than that.
Hey, if they get north of 30, I think they win the game. I mean,
sadly they may need north of 30. I mean, that's the thing. I'm thinking 28, but I mean, it's like I'm thinking 28-27 or 28-24. I mean, something like that. Barry Ford Memphis says, bang, bang. Hello, Larry. Damon, I'm off my Indiana soapbox. I promise. I'm thinking Saleh will get some pressure on Darnold. Keep the luggage unpacked. There you go.
Thank you,
road trips. No road trips. Thomas Selman, congrats, IU. I'm a huge Bammer, and that was impressive.
It was. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. I had a lot to do with it.
Fuji says, game plan for beating Seattle, rain affecting play. Well, I think it's naive to think the rain's not going to affect the play. I would think it's a big, this is your money moment. Lean on CMC, lean on Kittle, lean on JJ in the red zone. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything real fancy or surprising. They don't defend the tight end well. Let's look at Kittle and Tonjes. They don't defend McCaffrey out of the backfield well. Let's see McCaffrey out of the backfield all day, especially since they're so tough on him trying to get through the line of scrimmage.
And look, Brian Robinson Jr. has done a really nice job with the tough yards in between the guards. Use them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little odd to say break your trends come week 18 when never breaking your trend is kind of what got you here. But I really do hope
that you can mix it up. They can mix it up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
You don't have to. You can mix it up. I mean, you can save certain things for certain points in the year, but I mean, they're going to go with CMC. But yeah, how about a little Brian Robinson? If you get a lead or a drive or two, he's running it well. He's running it really well. MD said, "Hey, $9.99. There you go. Thank you, MD.
Thank you."
Jorge or George, Luis Sotelo. I may be in San Francisco later this month and plan on going to Pig in a Pickle, Ike's, and the Dubliner if I do.
Nice. How about this? You can take your Pig in the Pickle and your sandwich from Ike's, and you can go to the Dubliner and eat them both right there on the bar. So, gotta like that.
Thank you, George or Jorge. Thomas Selman, need to dial up blitzes, make Darnold uncomfortable. Yes. No question about that. Darnold does not respond well to pressure. You got to make him feel pressure. Errant says, what's the story with Nick Martin? The story is that he's
on IR.
Basically red-shirted for the year. He's been IR'd. He's a great athlete, but obviously he struggled to pick up their defense, or they don't like him. I don't know. I mean, you can listen to what people say, and they say they like him, but they never played him, and they played everybody except him. So either he can't play, and they feel like he can't play, and they'll cut him or trade him or move on from him, or he's just like D. Winters was a couple years ago, where he's talented, he's good, but he's just not ready to contribute, and his time's coming. But
look,
I'd be shocked if his time's not coming.
He's played quite a bit on special teams. He's played well over there, right? So
yes,
I do hope. I look. They're investing in this kid. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to be cut. I think Nick Martin is. He might not be a part of the present, but I think he's a part of the future.
Yeah, I think so too. And I would not be surprised if he. I mean, think about D. Winters had done nothing his rookie year. This guy, I think, has potential to be really, really good. Jorge says, Damon, your Hoosiers versus my Canes on a collision course.
So here's what might have to happen. Indiana's got Oregon in the Peach Bowl. I'm excited. I'm going to be there next Friday night in Atlanta. Really looking forward to that. If Indiana beats Oregon again this year, they might then have to go and play Miami in its home stadium for the national championship. Hard Rock Stadium in Miami is where the title game is being played this year. So the Canes get a home game if they make the national championship. So that's scary as hell.
The Canes are not perfect, but the Canes have a senior quarterback in Beck, and who's very experienced, and he's got a big arm.
Yep.
And they also have Reuben Bain, and Reuben Bain is going to be a top 3 or 4 pick, and he's got short arms, and he's got this, and he's got that, but guess what? He's badass.
And I'm just telling you right now, there's something about Miami speed that is just real.
Florida Malachi, speed, Tony, and all those guys.
Florida speed is real. So yeah, that would be scary. I would much rather see Ole Miss in a championship situation than Miami playing a home game and having freaking Ibis out there blowing the white smoke as they come out of the tunnel. Fuck.
Yeah, but I'll say this. I mean, be careful what you wish for on Trinidad Chambliss. My God, he's playing.
Yeah,
great.
He's badass too, man. But look at it this way: I got to choose between two evils. I'll choose between the team that's got a little bit of a more influx situation than Miami. Miami's playing great.
Yeah, seriously. Their head coach has got it going on there. And he played there. SF Indigo, New Year's resolution: be grateful. I love the Palouse and Krug community. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you, SF Indigo. Thank you.
Be grateful. We got this one from Harry Johnson. Hey, Dame, tell Mary to quit hogging the Wi-Fi.
Well, I think he's saying Larry or I don't know, but yeah, I'm having a bad Wi-Fi day. I'm a little grainy on my side of the video. I'm sorry about that, everyone. You were never supposed to see me. I was supposed to be on the radio. Sorry.
Somebody's upstairs watching Netflix. Bazzy Mion, did you see Dante Whitner's comments on the Niners defense after the Bears game on his Grit Code channel? Thoughts? Did you watch Dante with Willis and Brooks on his new Grit Code channel? I mean, I heard him swearing and basically saying, I'd have to go listen to it again to summarize it, but I did hear some of the.
I didn't see any of it. I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never heard of Grit Code.
Dante Whitner was going off on the Niners defense. Well, obviously it needs to be better,
Right.
Well, Dante Whitner also the week prior was saying that, Brandon Ayuk's got to apologize. Bro, the ship has sailed.
Right.
You got to know when it's over, and it's over.
Well, and you also got to know what you're looking at. Guess what the 49ers won't do very well this week? Play a dominant football game. And then they won't do it again in the postseason. They won't do it again in the Super Bowl should they reach it there. There is no, and the Niners defense was awesome tonight, I think, available. That's not going to happen.
No. And even so, it's like, I mean, I could name all kinds of guys around the league. They ought to try for this guy, that guy. They're clearly going with what they got. And as Damon just said appropriately, it's not very good, and they're just going to have to outscore these teams, and they're going to have to get turnovers. So you know what I want to see? I want to see the Jair Brown, punch. I want to see these guys punch the ball out. I want to see them going for the ball on every play because we know they can't stop JSN. We know they can't stop Seattle. But if they punch it out, maybe that could be the difference between winning and losing. Bingo says flyer for Damon's internet fund.
It's that bad today? Sorry, everyone.
It is a little blurry today. Fuji says, off topic, Larry, the San Francisco Chronicle reported 2025 as the rise of Reardon in sports, but they also gave kudos to St. Ignatius as well. Boo, St. Ignatius. What? Come on. Don't hate us because you ain't us. I mean, come on. I could say all kinds of things about working for us someday, but I won't. Pringle, what do you think about Demo in the slot with Luter and Green outside and Stout and Mustafa at safety with Brown and Bethune as backers? No Gifford. Well, I don't think the goal. I think the goal is to play Gifford on special teams. You know what? I wouldn't change it up. I mean, you've got Upton, Stout in the slot, and you've got Demo outside, and that's the way I would defend it. I would. I wouldn't travel Demo. I know Demo wants to travel, but I wouldn't. For all the reasons, if the Niners played 95% man to man, I'd say roll the dice and travel Demo. He's your best. Put him on their best, especially when their second best receiver is not nearly as good. But when you look at the fact that the Niners play such predominant zone and they mix their zones, I don't think traveling makes sense in that situation. And I think it's going to create more problems and more busted plays. And, is it a great day if you hold JSN to 56 yards on 6 catches, but you have 2 busted plays for Rashid Shaheed that go for touchdowns because your coverage broke down because you were confused because
right.
Of,
you asked,
it's a trade-off there.
Right. And look, if you want to say what's the biggest difference between the defense that Salah's run and last year's Nick Sorensen is just there's no confusion this year. Guys get beat, guys miss tackles, but they're not getting beat or missing tackles because they were confused on the play. They just read it wrong, they played it wrong, and that's called football. The communication has been the difference between last year's defense and this year's defense. And it's been the saving grace, because without that, imagine having all these injuries and a lack of communication. They wouldn't even be, this game wouldn't matter. They'd have already been eliminated.
I think what's also helping them this year is that they've got some young bodies. So they got some guys flying around, playing pretty fast, playing pretty physical. The one thing I'll say about the Niners, it's not a great defense. I'm not going to pretend that it is, but they fly around, they play hard, they never quit, and they're bringing it. You know what I mean? There's going to be some issues, but they're bringing energy, they're bringing effort, they're flying around, and that gives them an opportunity for turnovers. I don't know if it's going to happen, but they have an opportunity. Worst Jen says, every time I listen to the Hawks cast, they always say the pressure is on us or Brock isn't good enough. Such a delusional fan base. Well, I hope they believe that Brock isn't good enough because, Brock has beaten them more times than not. In a lot of ways, the Niners couldn't touch Russell Wilson, and they can't touch Brock Purdy for the most part. But I do think, what do you think of that concept, Damon, that the pressure is on us? I don't know if I would see it that way.
I mean, look,
as the pressure of being on the Niners. Who do you think does one side have more pressure than the other?
No. I mean, when both teams are playing for the 1 seed, I mean, there's you could say Seattle came in with more expectation this year than the Niners had after the injury started mounting. Well, how about this? The Niners, I think, are kind of playing with house money. Based on what I see defensively and based on who's been injured, they shouldn't be a playoff team this year. But here they are, and they will be a playoff team. The playoffs feel technically easier if they can get a bye week and home field throughout. So, I mean,
I think you're more resilient when you've attended your own funeral.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You've already lost Fred Warner. You've already been pronounced dead. Nick Bosa's gone. You've already been given up on the side of the road for dead. I think the Niners are in a dangerous spot for the rest of the NFC and the rest of the teams in the playoffs because they have the experience. They have a quarterback and a head coach who are talented and hungry, and nobody expected them to be here by now. So there's this kind of like, I think you're right, Damon. I think there's that feeling. In college, we went on a fraternity road trip to Reno, right? And it was our business conference. We're going to plan our year. So we all went to Bally's in Reno. So we all went to this breakfast downstairs at the beginning before we even had our meeting. And so we were just like meeting on a Friday, and then we were gonna like party all weekend up in Vegas, up in Reno. One of our brothers won like $1,700 at Keno at breakfast. And we're like, oh, he was playing with the house's money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of where the Niners are right now. They're up 1,700 on Keno, walking around with the house's money in their pocket, and they're feeling loose.
Feeling good.
They're feeling good. Yeah. Okay, we got this one. Fuji says, who was that clown on YouTube who claimed Jerry Rice 4.70 40-yard dash time wouldn't work in today's NFL?
Yeah, we've already discussed that.
Yeah, that guy is I think his name was Moron McMoron. Sunday Living says, defense will win this game. Wow. They will force 2 turnovers. Niners will peak going into the playoffs 28-13 Niners. It'd be great.
Let's do it.
Myco Loco says, hey, here, Damon, put this in the cough button jar.
I'm telling you right now, we haven't done a single show without a bottle of Dayquil by us lately. And I got the Spilkus. Larry's got the Spilkus. The Spilkus is all over the place these days.
Gosh, it's rough, too, as on broadcasters. Son of Johnny Lemaster says, IU friend went to Rose Bowl yesterday and said it was her best day of her life. Also, poncho sales at Levi's parking lots will be cooking.
Hey, everyone who
you know what? You want to make a few bucks? Go get a bunch of those cheapo ponchos and just be selling them and sell them instead. Buy them for $2 and sell them for $5.
It was supposed to rain all day yesterday in Pasadena. It didn't. It rained a lot before the game started, but then the clouds broke and we had a rain-free Rose Bowl. Hopefully, Levi Stadium gets that break for the Niners and Brock and his wet hands on Saturday night. By the way, Larry, are we doing a wake up on Sunday morning or are we going to wait until Monday morning? I think we got to go live the day after.
No. We're going Sunday morning.
Okay. 10 a.m. 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Sunday morning. Okay. We'll push it back 1 hour just because it's Sunday.
It's a late night for you too.
A late night, yeah. Travis Stewart says, F you, Krug. Let's friggin' go. 49er faithful with the extra L. Appreciate you, bro. Joseph Sullivan, happy Friday, fellas. Let's go. Let's get to 50,000 subs for Damon. If anyone in the chat is going to the game, meet me for drinks, section 128.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Joe's a good guy. Hang out with Joe. He's been to Plus Manias. You'll want to hang with Joe.
Has he?
Yes.
Nice. Joe, enjoy the game, bro. Roger ×8. They need to attack this defense how the Rams did through their tight ends and 12 personnel. Why haven't we seen this yet? Tonjes and Kittle need to be used together. Yeah, I agree. I'm starting to feel very strongly about this. I mean, if your season was on the line, who do you feel comfortable going to? Kittle, yes. CMC, yes. Juwan Jennings, yes. Okay. Those are the big 3, right? If you had to have a 4th guy, would it be Pearsall? I don't know. Well, here's the thing. It might be either Demarcus Robinson or I'm starting to think it's Tonjes because Tonjes's ball skills and hands. Todd Husak made the point the other day on KMBR. He's like, Tonjes caught a ball running across the middle that was down by his ankles, and he didn't break stride. He's like, that is a high-level catch, and it really reflects that this guy's got not just good hands or great hands, but really epic hands, and they ought to use him more in the red zone, and I agree.
I mean, the guy's got as many touchdowns this year as Travis Kelce, and he plays a fraction of the game, that Kelce gets to play. I mean, he is having his productive season per snap count as you can really find in the NFL. So more of him seems like the right way to use him at this time of year. I mean, well, why not? If you got a weapon, use it.
He owns Seattle. They've been complaining about him since week 1, I'm sure. Batman, is the league fixed? Because how did the schedule makers know to put 3 games on the last week that had playoff implications? Seattle, Niners, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Tampa. Well, they went division, right? They went division foes that are likely to be battling. I mean, I think you probably, I'm not saying that that's genius there. I'm thinking that's just logic. Sunday living. I root for underdogs. Screw the Yankees, Dodgers, Lakers, Chiefs, and Alabama. I'm rooting for IU to make the bowl and then suck your soul right out.
Well, thank you.
God, it's kind of hard.
So he wants me to be at the crescendo of a possible national championship. How about this? If at any point in my life you walked up to me and said, I will sell you an Indiana football season that ends with a loss in the national championship, I would have sold you one of my children to buy that. Are you kidding? Like, I mean, I would have never. The Indiana football in the national championship game has never been said. That has never been said out loud. It's unthinkable.
Boxing fan times 4. If Indiana wins the Natty, Damon deserves all the wet T-shirt girls he wants.
Let me tell you, fuck Lowell Cone and his bullshit story on that. That is the most ridiculous nonsense that ever happened. Oh, Damon was taking pictures. Dude, there was a girl with a wet T-shirt in a locker room I was taking pictures of. I didn't take.
Is that what that is in reference to? I didn't even know that. I had no idea.
Yeah. Let me hang something on you that happened 14 years ago, since that's the only thing that I got. Because my show's awesome. So there you go.
Yeah, I get the same thing. Out of nowhere, somebody goes Felipe Alou on me. Ivan, thankful for the 49ers having a real chance to win the Super Bowl this year, especially with the Giants not spending money this offseason. Very optimistic about the Niners. Disappointed in the Giants. Yeah, I mean, the Giants are just sad at this point. It's like your buddy who's super rich, who's like sitting on the curb collecting nickels, and he's like, dude, don't you have like $700,000 in your checking account? Why are you sitting on a curb? It's like, that's what I would say to the Giants. What are you doing in the Tyler Mahle aisle when you're fucking rich as hell? It's ridiculous. It's like Gordon Getty shopping for a fucking, $2 windbreaker. SGA Sports Talk. Go Niners, beat the Sea Chickens on Saturday. Let's effing go. Harry Johnson, pick one former 49er in their super prime to come back and help the D. I'm going Alden. Ooh, that's tough. How could I not?
It's Charles Haley. Look at your defensive line. You put Charles Haley on that defensive line, things change.
You know what? If I could go with anybody in their prime, ooh, that's a tough one.
It's got to be Charles Haley or Ronnie Lott.
No. Not with this particular team. With this particular team, give me Dion on JSN. Dion, 94 Dion following JSN. You want to follow? There's your follow guy. Dion all over the field with JSN. I'll take my chances. C Parks Fluent or C Park Affluent. Thoughts on Cam doubling down on the Purdy hate? Cam's a jackass. All right. If you don't realize that, if you don't know, now you know.
Look at it this way. You know who you shouldn't pay much attention to? The guy in the funny hat.
Yeah, seriously. Cam. I mean, seriously. Hey, Cam, go away, bro. Fuji Simeon. LOL, that's true, Larry, about Reardon alum working for SI alums, as my supervisor's spouse and sons are SI alums. So does that count? Haha. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Fuji, you'll work for us someday. Now you're experiencing that in real life. All right. That's going to do it for us. Thanks to Habas Law, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. HabasLaw.com on the web. Thanks to them. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Damon, thank your sponsors. And it's time for us to bolt for the door. I'm streaming at 10:45 in 23 minutes with Chase Sr.
Hey, tell Chase I said Happy New Year, please. Always like that guy. He does great content. And I want to thank everyone for jumping into 2026 with us. It's going to be a fun. To me, the Niners are playing with house money from here on out. So every win is happening in a place that probably shouldn't even exist. So I think that this is one of those enjoy not just the destination, but the journey. You're the 1 seed with a win in a year that should have been over in week 7. This is an unbelievable season from Shanahan McCaffrey, and Purdy in particular. And if those three can keep it going with their offensive genius, they're going to have a puncher's chance in the most wide open NFL postseason I think we've ever really consumed. So let's go. How about this? There's no reason to stop believing now. There's no reason to just count them out now, because every time you've wanted to leave them for dead, they found a way to remain alive. So no reason to give up on them now. There's no reason for me to stop believing that Indiana might be able to win this whole thing now. Why not? It's maybe 2026 is the year of why the hell not? So go Niners. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Eat it, Ikes. Go get a Guinness at the Dubliner. You'll be very happy that you did. Larry, again, for the 3 years that I've been over here, there's nobody in my career, in my life, who has, helped pull me into this new world that we're all now living in. So I thank you, Kevin, everyone, all the Krugs, all Krugs shows and his fans and his followers and his subscribers. Thank you very, very much. It's a year where I want to be more grateful for things, a year of abundance, a year of good things happening. I could use one, and I think you could use one too. We could all use one. So let's let some good things happen to start off 2026 on the right note. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I've said my piece. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Yeah, I'll just finish with this. You know what? For years, the Seahawks had a quarterback named Russell Wilson, and the Niners just couldn't beat him. It's not like they never beat him, but they didn't beat him a lot.
He was a problem.
In fact, he went 17-4 against the 49ers. And the Seahawks dominated the Niners and owned the Niners. But then Brock Purdy came along. And now Brock Purdy is Russell Wilson. And he's paying that back. And yes, Russell went 17-4 against the Niners, but Purdy has gone 6-1 against the Seahawks. Russell owned the Niners. Purdy owns the Seahawks. Niners are going to win Saturday night because of Brock Purdy. Thanks to Damon. Thanks to all of you. Join me with Chase here in a few. Peace.